We're going to analyse the data so we can pick the best captain for game week 27. We'll play the pep roulette and pick a City player because we want the potential of 2 matches. I will discuss later on in the video the possibility of rotation for each of these players as well. Let's get straight into it and take a look at the shortlist. First up, we've got Gundo. Second, we've got De Bruyne. And third, we've got Sterling. 3 Manchester City midfielders. We know that we could captain a Manchester City defender, but we do know that we can get 1 point for every clean sheet that these players get, and I would rather captain a player that's got a high ceiling rather than a high floor. I completely understand if you want to captain someone like Ederson or Diaz with more certainty that they'll play, but for me, I like an explosive captain. Over the last 5 matches, Gundo is in the best form. He's only got the lowest expected assist per 90 minutes, which we can understand because it is De Bruyne who is the most creative player on the shortlist. In that period of time, he didn't get any official assists, but he did get 2 fantasy assists, and that's why his expected assists are so low, but it does count in the game. He's also averaged more than 1 goal per game as well. It is worth noting that KDB did have a gap in his last 5 matches due to an injury, but that is absolutely no excuse to have such poor stats per 90 minutes. Sterling did match Gundogan for non-penalty expected goal involvement per 90 minutes, but to be fair, you do get more points for a goal than you do for an assist in FPL, so Gundogan wins the expected FPL return points per 90 minutes as well. Over the course of the season, this is where De Bruyne and Sterling stand out more, but to be fair to Gundo, he did play in a different role, so we can disregard the start of the season and the form is more relevant at this point. De Bruyne's non-penalty expected goals per 90 minutes are more than double his goals per 90 minutes, and this ratio is actually the worst in the league. KDB has got 3 goals and 11 assists this season. Gundo has played more than 90 minutes less and he has the same amount of returns. Except from the goals and assists are flipped around, he's got 11 goals and 3 assists, and like we mentioned earlier, we can apply more weight to the goals than we can to the assists in FPL. Sterling has the most returns on the shortlist this season, but to be fair to the other 2 players, they have played a lot less minutes this season. As for the penalty appeal, all 3 players have a chance of taking a penalty. It's probably more likely to be KDB, but we know that Aguero has come back into the picture and he would take the penalties off De Bruyne. In this next section, we usually compare the opposition's defence, but instead we'll use it to justify a Manchester City captain this game week. As you can see, Southampton's defence has been very leaky this season, especially recently. United have conceded over 1 goal per 90 minutes and they've got even worse expected goals conceded per 90 minutes. The main thing you'll want to consider is that City have the best attack in the league. This is displayed through the clean sheet odds on the screen of the opponent, and that is why they are so low. So that's why we're targeting a player that will probably play 2 games. They might not do, they might just get 1, but it isn't too bad if you look at this. Based on the probability, Sterling is the most likely to score, whilst De Bruyne is the most likely to assist. Sterling also has the highest Fantasy Football Hub points predictions and Fantasy Football fixed points projections. In my opinion, Gundo has been underrated in this section, and I do believe his probability of scoring and assisting is much higher than displayed. All 3 players have an ample amount of resting time before the first fixture, and one thing that benefits Gundogan more than the other 2 players is that he only played 8 minutes in the last match, whilst the other 2 players played 90 minutes. All 3 players have 3 days rest before the Southampton match, which is the second fixture. And if we work that out, that's 3 games in just over a week, which gives an advantage to Gundo, especially with KDB coming back recently from an injury. Something else that puts in a strong case for Gundo is that he's never been rested 2 out of 3 games this season, not even at the start, so with him being rested in the last match, he should play both of these next ones. In all fairness to De Bruyne, he is City's best player and he is fundamental to Pep's plans, so I wouldn't be surprised if he did play both of these 2 matches. Okay, so I've made a decision. This player has the most return points per 90 minutes, he's in the best form, we're mainly captaining because he's probably the least immune to Pep roulette. He started his hot streak before De Bruyne got injured, and there's no evidence to suggest that he's going to play in a deeper role since De Bruyne has returned from his injury. He assisted in his last match playing just 8 minutes, whilst the other 2 players played the full 90 minutes and blanked. The best captain for double game week 27 is Gundo.